Welcome to the podcast, We Rock Podcast, episode number 22, taking place in the greatest country on the face of the planet. And if you're disillusioned as to what I mean there, I mean Texas.
Always and forever.
Yep. So we're sitting here on the 7th of June, and of course, yesterday was the 80th anniversary of D-Day. Really cool to watch a lot of the videos on that, especially having, I think that's a really cool deal for us as monument guys.
Oh yeah.
Not just as, I think so many of us are very patriotic as monument guys. I think that's generally how this industry tends to run anyway, which is great. But having done monuments for a lot of those World War II guys over the years, and having met a bunch and heard stories and things like that, it's really cool to see the images come out of beaches of Normandy and Omaha Beach and Point de Hoc and all that stuff. I mean, it's just really cool yesterday seeing all those videos.
Definitely so. And honestly, one of the sad things though is it seems like it's just kind of relegated to one day a year that we really want to sit around and talk about that. And of course, here we are in the month of June, and there's another thing that everybody loves to just keep talking about.
Men's health awareness.
Oh, it is Men's Health Awareness Month.
It's Men's Health Awareness Month, and this is important for y'all to know. And I know it's getting beat down your throat nonstop this month because that's what this month is. But it is. It's Men's Health Awareness Month. So
is that what all the flags are flying for? Those multicolored flags?
Yeah. I mean, it's to remind you to check your prostate. So, call your doctor, set up an appointment. It's important. I'm getting in a lot of trouble on that one.
Hey, we just dipped the toe in the water. We didn't jump.
To each their own.
Teach their own. Absolutely.
I have no qualms with where you want to be in your life. Just understand everybody else's freedoms, and it is what it is. Everybody's freedoms are equally as important, and I can care less after that. As long as we're all on the same page and you understand, look, if you want to come and pick on me about the way I live, by all means, I'm for it. If I'm picking on you, it means I like you. And
there you go.
If I'm not picking on you, then you probably know exactly where you stand in my life.
Yeah, I think it was Thomas Jefferson that put it best whenever he said, if it neither picks my pocket nor breaks my leg, I don't care.
Yeah, there you go. So
leave me alone.
No, it's I was ecstatic seeing a lot of those images. For us here in College Station, it's kind of it becomes a really cool thing because General James Earl Rudder was the general who led the offensive at Point de Hoc, and had his Rudder Rangers climb the cliffs there. Right. So
that's neat.
Rudder is the favorite child of Texas A&M, and ended up being president of the university, and was instrumental in a lot of changes here on campus. First being opening the doors for black students to attend, which was huge. Opening the doors for women to attend, which was another huge one. And then also taking it from being full compulsory in the Corps of Cadets. It was not required for you to be in the Corps of Cadets. You were able to be a regular student at Texas A&M at that point in time. And that is the general who led the offensive. So here's why this is cool. I tell you all that information to say that on campus, there's a building called Rudder Tower. Rudder Tower is right across the street from Kyle Field and connected to our Memorial Student Center.
Yeah.
Rudder Tower is 110 feet. It is exactly the same height as the cliffs at Point de Hoc that those
cool.
boys had to climb. And so it's really cool when we get this time of year. We've done some stuff over it for the rudders and stuff around the plots and whatnot. I didn't do the monuments; they were already done, but we've kind of done some little things or whatever. And it's there's flags out there every year for them, and it's just such a cool thing. So thanks to all those who've made us have the ability to do what we do, the freedoms that we do, and keep us free in our country, as well as fight for freedom in other countries. And it's just such a cool thing. And
Absolutely.
I saw videos like there was a video of a airman who flew Thunderbolts over Germany, meeting with
a tank commander.
A tank commander.
I saw that.
Tank commander, and that was one of the coolest videos I think I saw out of all the videos. Because that, to me, it's for if you don't know, my wife, her mother's from Germany. Her Emily's grandfather was a soldier in World War II for Germany. And just like any other soldier out there was fighting for his country, not knowing what all was going on because they weren't told what was really going on unless you were in those scenarios.
Yeah.
So tough dude. But to see that video just really kind of shows that kind of we can have our differences or have had our differences, but we can all come to an understanding of what is important and who we are as individuals. So I love it.
Definitely.
Great.
So I even saw a video of an American World War II vet. He had gone over and was going through some of the cemeteries, but he also made a point to go over to a cemetery where a bunch of German soldiers had been buried at. And they asked him why, and he said, they deserve to have, respects paid to them as well, because most of them, by all accounts, would have been good people. And they were just following orders in the same manner that he was following orders.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, they were still sons of and brothers and husbands and those kind of things. And so we, hey, I love what this time of year represent, or what these holidays represent, because it just makes me remember what has come before me. And what has happened to make sure that we can still be free. And
and if you're fortunate enough to know a living World War II veteran right now, and if he's willing to talk, sit down. Don't let those stories die with him.
No,
it is important to keep those stories alive.
There's several stories that I remember, and some of them are from meeting with families and customers or whatever. Others are from just one-on-one accounts. I'll never forget when I first took my CHL course in. Oh gosh, I've had it 20 years now.
Yeah.
So when I first took my CHL course 20 years ago, I had in that class were two World War II vets, and I'm sitting there, kind of listening. Right. I found it's better to sit and listen and take in than it is to do anything else. And one of the they're like sitting there asking each other questions back and forth. One of the guys, they're talking about the mounted guns that they're having to drag through Germany and France and all this. And one of the guys says, "Were y'all ever worried about running out of ammo?" And the other guy looks at him and says, "Nah, we never worried about that. We didn't have any." I'm dying because it's like it was nothing, and I can't imagine the stuff they lived through and saw and had to deal with to get to that point, and to be able to laugh at it. They can laugh at it together and talk about it in camaraderie, but we don't know the nightmares they woke up to and those kind of things as well. So, and I wish I would have served. I didn't. I wish I would have served. I think I always kind of assumed that you had to be up front, but there's all kinds of other issues that caused me to not. And nevertheless, I admire those folks that did it before me.
Absolutely.
So, kudos to y'all. And if y'all are listening and y'all did serve, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. So, but So no, that was yesterday. There's a lot of really great video out there for that. And just it was cool to see. But
I even saw your president went over to Normandy, and he made a speech there.
What was he?
No. That's Dave. That's Dave Pace's president.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Did he use his Depends while he was there? Did I see that? Is that correct? I think that's what Jason Campbell tried to tell me.
I saw Jason made mention of it, and I'm not going to say that he did or did not, but whenever my kids were growing up and they were toddlers, whenever they made that same motion, I knew something was afoot.
And he was ushered off rather quickly after that.
I mean, like they say, don't trust a fart.
Oh, man. Do your business before you go out. I just,
pregame it. You got a pregame. Come on.
Well, look, I mean, before we got on here, I went and had to take care of my business so that I didn't have to get up in the middle of this and we have to hit pause. It'd have been much easier if they just walked up to him and handed him a beer. That would have been probably a little bit better. Oh, man. So, well, hey, I think you had some interesting news come up. Is that right? Did I hear that right?
No, I mean, nothing big.
No, nothing? Okay. Well, I just I thought I heard through the grapevine something happened.
Something absolutely did happen. I got a call from Jed Hendrickson today.
Yeah.
And he informed me that I have been accepted into AICA.
Oh, and man, look at that.
I could not be more happy about that. That is...
Man, yeah! No, man, that's awesome. Congratulations. And
thank you.
You have absolutely earned it. The quality of the work you produce shows it that you really put out there to make sure your customers are taken care of, and the work ethic y'all put in. But then not only that, you strive to further educate people, and like what we do here on the podcast and further. But
thank you. It's something that I've wanted ever since I knew what it was about. And it's definitely an honor to be accepted into the organization. And I mean, I'm a very small fish in a large ocean now. Like the amount of talent that the majority of the members possess in that organization far surpasses anything I'm capable of right now. But I'm looking forward to the opportunity to getting to spend more time with these individuals and hoping just a little bit that rubs off.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, those we've talked at probably ad nauseum, and we'll continue to talk about education and ad nauseum for a while. And but those relationships and the education you get out of AICA, and we talk about it with MBNA and with SMBA and all these other things, whether it's the Money Builders groups and things like that. But those relationships that you build within those groups really just drive you to another level if you'll allow them. And that's been, I've said for a while, like I was fortunate enough to do a couple of little cool projects early on. I can look on a timeline and see how my stuff changed drastically pretty quick after AICA. And it's not like, you don't just get the letters after your name or whatever, and then all of a sudden, and a lapel pin, and all of a sudden you can do something. But it was the education, having those connections to people. No.
Oh, man, I thought as soon as I had my first name tag that had AICA on it, I was there. That was good. But like I tell, of course, we've talked about this a good bit, but like I said, the main reason I wanted to be a part of it is I just get access to that AICA font now that I've been really wanting for a long time.
And did he say I'll send you the link immediately? It's on its way. Or did you have the couth not to ask for that right off the bat?
No, I didn't ask for it right off the bat. If I was to ask for it right off the bat, he might have said that he was going to send me the stamps. I wasn't going to get the digital.
Well, I think Jason will tell you there is an initiation somewhere in there, and it's something involving a cherry and a glass, and I'll let him describe the rest of that.
Look forward to the challenge. Look forward to the challenge.
But you did he tell you about the trip that you won that comes along with it? That's
I didn't get to.
You didn't get into that. So the trip that you win is becoming a part of the AICA is a trip to the next convention. Now it's not free.
Well, yeah, but see, I'm excited because last year y'all went to Italy.
We did. We're going somewhere so much better this time.
Where?
Oklahoma City.
Is that like a suburb of Rome or?
Sure. I think 5,000 miles, but sure.
Right. I'm looking forward to seeing the historical architecture of Oklahoma City. I'm still excited to go. I joke about it, but I'm still excited to go.
Good. I'm looking forward to, and y'all are going to fit right in. Let me back up. Kind of fit right in. It's the country swagger is not going to really work well with Howard or with Harvard Wood and with Eric Zeibel. Eric acts kind of clean cut, but I think deep down he's kind of country. So we'll see.
Well, if you don't outwardly present it, I think deep down everybody wants to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, the truth of the matter is while everybody may wear polo shirts and things like that, you can't be the weirdest that's been there because David Sadler was a member for a long time.
I love the dude.
He's one of my favorites, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's such a great guy.
No, that's man. It's one of my favorite quotes of all time is, "If you want to hear God laugh, tell him you have a plan."
Mm-hmm.
And this definitely was not my plan. Owning a monument company, being a memorialist, that definitely was not part of my plan. But this is where he led me to, and this is what I'm doing, and I love what I do, and I really enjoy what I do. And now to be a part of this organization, it just, further reaffirms to me that I'm on the right track. Yeah. That, because I'm a self-described, some hick hayseed, from the cotton fields of West Texas.
Not self-described. I think I described you as that 10 minutes ago.
Yes, definitely so. And it's like I said, I never in a million years would have ever thought that I was going to be here, but this is my profession now. I love it and just want to continue to grow in it.
Yeah.
And this is, in my opinion, one of the best paths for growth.
And it really is. And I think from the outside, a lot of people look at it as an elitist group. It's really not. There's some great folks, and some of the best designers in the country are in there. Mm-hmm. I looked back at several of there was the convention the meeting we had in Maine 2 years ago. And we were in Portland. I remember at one point in time, we were at the bar. And I'm sitting there talking to, it's the who's who. I'm talking to Terry Joy, and I'm talking to Bill Boone and Charlie Hunt. And I'm just in that scenario. I'm like, God, the who's who that I'm talking to. These guys that have been doing this for so long, and that I have the opportunity to sit here and have these conversations with these folks. And I look over, and Emily is sitting there talking with Joy, Charlie's wife, with Terry's wife. Monica Johns is standing there talking to him. And I'm just, I remember having the realization how blessed I am that here I am, a guy who started a shop in 2006, really took it full time in 2009 and stumbled in. Like, Honestly, there's no other. I BS'd my way through a bunch of jobs, and I remember a good example is we were bidding out a job at Sam Houston State with this general contractor. They invited us to come look at some stuff. They couldn't find somebody to do some things or whatever. And I took a buddy of mine, Mark Weber, who you've talked to a bit from time. He's a home builder here, and so he partnered with me on this job. We drove out there, and we were standing out there and kind of figuring out what our numbers were after taking measurements. And the superintendent walks by and says, "All right, well, hey man, we really appreciate you coming out." He says, "Hey, real quick, are you a hub business?" And I kind of hesitate. I go, "Oh, no, we're not." And he walks off, and I look over at Mark. I go, "Hey man, what's a hub business?"
Hey Tony, what's a hub business?
So it is a historically underutilized business. I had figured in the instant when he asked me that, if I don't know what it is, I'm probably not that.
Great.
And I guessed right.
Oh, so, I mean, you had a 50-50 shot, so.
I did. So, but there was a lot of that kind of stuff as I started. And I look back and I go, man, I'm super fortunate, super blessed. And that doesn't mean that there wasn't hard work involved. And I'm not going to, say that we haven't worked our rear ends off, but no, we've been very fortunate to run into some really cool folks and have people trust us along the way. And, but same along for you, man. You've done a great job with what y'all done and built stuff up. And
thank you.
Y'all, you've earned it. And now that comes with a price, and you got to write a check. And by the way, when we get to, so we're 2 weeks out from Southern. We'll go to the convention out here at Southern, and I intend to make sure I get to your name tag first, and I'm going to write the AICA following your name, but it's going to be in crayon.
Still counts.
Multicolored.
Still counts. It's still in June. Still in June.
So there you go. Congratulations to that. And
well, thank you.
Truthfully, they when the survey went out and everybody asked, I said, you're not bringing him on for him. It's because everybody likes Megan better.
Oh, I'll agree with that 1,000%. Yeah. I'm not going to disagree with that one bit. It's like I've told my wife before. I said, I just wish you'd be as nice to me as you are to everybody else. But, Oh, yeah.
Emily's listening to the podcast, I'm sure, and going, no, not with the way Tony treats me. I'm not doing that. Oh, man. So not a lot going on. We got Southern coming up. We've been talking ad nauseum about that as well. And I don't care because I'm looking forward to it. We are now 2 weeks out. We're actually, we're less than 2 weeks out because 2 weeks would have been yesterday. Today's Friday, June 7th, and June 6th was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We will.
I was also informed by another somebody that might have been you that I might be getting a promotion with Southern.
Oh, yeah,
possibly.
Yeah.
So
you were possibly voluntold. We'll see how this works. But.
Right. Well, whenever I did ask you, some questions about it, hey, what are the responsibilities? And, most importantly, what is is there a pay difference? And you said it is 100% increase in pay. And I mean, it sold me right there.
Absolutely true. So the other thing is I think I think we were on the phone at that point in time when we were talking about this, and I may have been driving through a tunnel when I was talking about the responsibilities.
So a lot of it just cut off.
Yeah, I think you may have heard me say something like there are no responsibilities, and I said there is in no way no additional responsibilities. There's a lot of extra. Yeah, basically, the whole thing falls on your shoulders.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, Southern had a good run.
Oh, no. So, yeah, convention's coming up 2 weeks out. And look, I will say this, and this has actually been pretty well. I think we kind of have offered as Southern, saying if you've never been to Southern Monument Builders Convention, if you've never never been a member of SMBA, come on out, just register. We will take care of your registration fees. What this includes, and I'll still hold to this. If I get in trouble for it, I'll own it. But what this includes is you can get into the display room and you can get into the education stuff. It does not include food because that costs us money. So if you want to come out, come out. It's going to take we're not covering your travel. We're not covering your hotel stay, and I'm not covering your bar tab. So, but come on out, come visit with us. Kind of think of us like the meth dealers. The first one's on us.
Right.
But we want you to come out and see what we're about. We want you to understand who we are and what we can do to help improve your business as a whole. You get the opportunity to meet with the vendors that you speak with all the time. And I don't mean like, they might show up to your office. There's a handful of them that'll show up to your office maybe and take you out to dinner or lunch or whatever. I'm talking about now you have a captive audience. You have, they are there. They're showing you stuff. You have the people that you have seen do things that you can ask questions of. We've always talked about the best information. In fact, I happen to be watching, we watched a rerun of Modern Family not that long ago. And it's the episode where they go to the first, what's the daughter's name? I can't think of her name. She goes to her first closet convention, right? And Jay tells her that the most of the business and most of your value at the convention is done at the bar, and
Absolutely.
It's not far off. That's not far off. I still believe that as an association, we still provide a lot of education, good education, entertaining education, as well as good value meeting with the vendors. But being able to glad hand and shake folks' hands at the bar and hear those stories and talk about the problems and woes and things that you get as a monument builder, as a business owner, are huge. So, and don't forget that every convention is a write-off under your education portion. And if you're not doing that with your CPA is a moron. It's not 100% write-off, but it's enough. And it's basically you're getting paid to go on a trip.
Yep. Anytime you get to let Uncle Sam fund a portion of it, by all means, please do.
Yep. Get your money back. You're giving it to him. May as well get it back. So, come out. I think we can't run out of, here's the thing. Unless we break fire code, we can't run out of space for people to come.
Correct.
Right? Okay. Come on out. Again, it won't include your food, but it includes whatever. We want to try and get you to see what we got going on.
I mean, it also includes a free meet and greet with you. And
are you sure? I gotta meet people.
I'm putting it out there now. I mean, I figured you were the ambassador.
Well, as long as we're not running, playing Zulu Warrior out in the streets or something like that, I guess it's fine. So
we'll even introduce you to the president of SMBA and let you have a one-on-one with him.
Yeah, you can meet with the president of SMBA, but you know what? I have it on good authority that the president of MBNA is going to be there too, as well as a past president of MBNA. They might be sharing a room.
I'm not saying we're big, but we're a big deal.
Yeah.
We're better than you, and we know it.
We might even have a future president of MBNA or incoming president of MBNA there as well. Just saying.
It's a pretty stacked roster.
Yeah. So, no, it's going to be a good show. Come on out. Come check it out. Again, If you want to know who's speaking, go back a couple episodes, listen to Dan Giroux. He's going to be talking about textures and the purpose of them and how you can use them in your stones. You can go back, I think, one episode and listen to Audrey talk about website development and things like that, the importance of SEO and what you need on your website. As a matter of fact, after our talk with her, I went ahead and pulled the trigger, and I called him back up and said, "Hey, thanks for coming on. Hey, by the way, we need to fix some things." And because they had already been doing our stuff, and I said, "We need to expand. We need to adjust what we're doing with our stuff." Make
so
it
is that
so
why I'm seeing all these Watson signs and monuments, like Facebook ads, all of a sudden now up in my area? And
so you haven't seen the billboard over your office yet, right? I told him, I said, look, anywhere where you see an ad that says Austin Stone and Monument, it needs to say Watson. Just saying.
oh man, I've been getting some more up here. No, speaking of that, and this one is real on Facebook, markersandheadstones.com.
Oh my gosh. Hey, can you just for grins, because you may as well, they've spent money to get it in front of you, make them spend more money by clicking on it.
Oh, I do every time because I know why.
and tell me what's the price of their how are they advertising it to make it look like their prices are?
I don't know. They have some pictures of their work, and all of them are 2x1 markers. You can get them in black or gray. Oh, everything is. They also do offer marble. And
what do you want to bet that they do not offer a Georgia gray? If they're offering black markers, I bet they're China gray markers.
Oh yeah, these are definitely China gray.
I just have all.
You can see all of it's just blown straight into the polish.
Oh yeah,
and you can get a 2x1 gray marker for $579.99 free shipping.
Oh, let me see. I don't remember what a marker costs me right now. Do you know what a marker costs you right now? 2x1 off the top of your head ish.
Like my cost?
Yeah, your cost, but FOB your vendor.
Yeah, it's like $70-something, something like that.
Okay,
I think
So $70. Let's go and say you've got. You're going to go pick it up, and I know you tend to go pick your stuff up, but you also pick up more stuff than that, right? Mm-hmm. But by the time you've figured out what the value of that trip is, can we add $10 to it in shipping, because you're just picking your stuff up instead of.
I still got to pay for diesel, and my time is worth something. So, okay. Yeah.
So we'll add $10. I think that's low. I really think it probably should be $25.
I agree.
Your stencil cost on that stone is what? Do you know what your stencil cost runs? I don't remember anymore. And frankly, it's Friday.
I haven't done a breakdown since I switched over to Anchor. Since I ran out of 3M.
Well, now that you switched over to Anchor, hey, I think this is a great point in time that we need to thank Clay Creech over there with Anchor and
Clay Creech is the man. I've run Anchor in the past, and I did run into some problems with some Anchor, and I talked with him, and he got it all ironed out and made everything whole again. He's great to deal with, and he'll back up his product 100%.
They're phenomenal folks over there. So we go, okay, I think it's about $2.50 if I remember correctly. So now we're at $82.50. The big problem I have in the price of when people are lowballing marker prices is that they don't function everything. Okay. So if you say, what's that?
They have a wholesaler inquiry form.
Oh gosh.
And it says it is berry gray granite quarried in the USA.
Berry gray marker. I wonder where their office is. I think a berry gray marker is $110.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you've got a 110, add your $25 in shipping, add in your 135, add let's say it takes one guy at what's a good, I'm going to use $20 an hour. I don't know if that's what everybody's paying, but I think it's
I remember us talking about these guys. They are based out of Mesa, Arizona. And
yes.
It was the one that I looked up the address, and it goes to like some shopping, like strip mall.
Yeah. So, by the time you end up with all that, you break it down. They're not making. They've got to sell a lot of markers to really break even at that price because it's just you can't. Your overhead's too high.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't make any money doing it. And really, truthfully, for us as a traditional brick and mortar monument shop, the money's not in the stone. You know that. The money is in the labor to sandblast, the travel to go do the install, and the install and equipment that it takes to do that anyway.
And the one thing that we could just continue to beat our heads up against the wall with is that these places, at the end of the day, do not care about their consumer.
No.
Because they don't offer that last step, which is a very crucial step, which is putting it in a cemetery.
Yep. Look, you want to talk about like the perpetual care cemeteries in the big cities and stuff like that, where you've got to have a certain level of insurance to do it, and you're coming in and it's you got to drop it off anyway, and you pay them to install it. That's a different animal than I don't know. It's got to go to the New Tabor Cemetery in out there in Caldwell, and I've got to call Grandma Minerva, but I can't call her until Tuesday after 1:00 because she got her hair did. Right, to get her to call Bubba Joe to go stick a flag down so that I can find it.
It's funny, the different cemetery sextons that we deal with, especially some of these smaller country cemeteries in the area. It's funny, some of them, just the wide range of personalities that there are. Like we'll pick up the phone to call this one cemetery, and it's a guy. He'll pick up the phone, tell him like, "Hey, we need a marker marked off." Well, I can't do it today. Well, I know we're not on our way. Just give us a minute. Well, it's going to take me 48 hours. We still know, but we're just letting you know.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just trying to get on your schedule so I know how to put it on my schedule.
Which, speaking of marking off, and of course this isn't something we ever run into, but I think it's ridiculous. The SCI cemetery across the road from us, they sent us a notice the other day that from the moment they mark off a grave, we have 10 days to set it, or we're going to be charged another $395 setting fee.
Do they have a justification behind that?
None. Just because it's just one of those things because they can. And of course, I've never ran into it.
What happens if it rains for 10 days?
I've asked them that, and I didn't get anything that quantified to be a real answer from them.
Yeah, I will give. This is where I'm not going to get in trouble, but this is probably where I can understand some things. And so, College Station City Cemetery, they don't charge me to market. There is let me back up. What they've called a setting fee, which is not a setting fee, it's a permit fee or a marking fee. At $100, something like that. That fee goes for them to market and check everything and all that. So what I do know, though, is that they mow that cemetery every Thursday. So if I have them market on Wednesday, the flags are gone and they're going to have to market again. I can understand to an extent if they were to come back and say, well, it's because we mow. Right? You got to get it done before. Okay, well, look, a two-way conversation is good for all of us. I'm not trying to beat you up, and I'm not trying to take money out of your mouth. I don't sell caskets, and I don't do funeral services. And, so I get it that you think we're the bad guy, but I'll bet we could help each other out if you'd let us.
Oh, I've made that known to, especially the cemetery across the road, that I'm willing to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
And now, for the guys that actually work in the cemetery, that are actually out there maintaining, digging graves, we get along with those guys great. And we've helped them out a few times, and in return, they've helped us out with a couple of things. But it's the front office we have our issues with.
Well, and I mean, some of that stuff too. I've seen several guys who, and maybe they're venting. We got to be clear that on some of the groups that are online or whatever, there's sometimes somebody will say something and they're like, it's just a vent, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I saw one where somebody says, well, they won't let me in the cemetery because blah, 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 blah. And I'm not going to say exactly what it was because then it reveals exactly who it was.
Correct.
But they won't let me in the cemetery because blah, 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 blah. You know? And you go, okay, well, instead of like, I don't know, getting up in their face and calling them a moron or whatever, you just kind of go, look, I'm not going to come in here and do that. If I make the situation worse for you, then what good is that for me later? Then we're constantly going to be butting heads. Or instead, maybe I'm going to call you and say, hey, can we get in? And you kind of treat me with respect and I treat you with respect. And I come in and and let me prove to you that I'm not going to come in here and make a bunch of mess in your cemetery so that you know that I'm going to do the right thing. I have zero interest in coming in there and making a huge mess because I've got to be able to go out there as well to do other things.
Mm-hmm.
So, it drives me nuts when I hear that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but, those cemeteries do it to themselves too. And not all of them. I've even run into SCI cemeteries that are great.
Oh, definitely so. But all I'm going to say is, whether it be a corporate owned cemetery, a privately owned cemetery, know the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Know them back and forth. You need to know the rules better than they know their own rules.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying ever break the rules because you definitely don't want to put yourself in a position to where all of a sudden you find your setting privileges revoked. But know where that gray area is.
I think my favorite one that I ran into once was I was in a cemetery, and this was a city cemetery. What ended up happening was I submitted all the paperwork properly. I go out to the cemetery. Sexton tells me, and this is early on. I mean, this is way early on. Cemetery sexton tells me, says, well, you can't put that out here. Why not? Said the names are backwards.
Oh,
and I said, what? He says, the names are backwards. And I said, okay. Well, didn't I submit to you a layout for you to approve? Well, I'm not responsible for approving the layout on approving the direction of the burial. Oh, you're not?
You can't have it both ways, buddy.
I said, I wasn't at the service.
Yeah.
I have no idea where they were buried.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's kind of why we pay you a permit fee, isn't it? Oh, well, you expect me. So he gets all up. And so I end up calling the main office. And it's how this went down. And before I ever talked to the family, I called the main office. In my conversation with the main office, I said, look, they own plots. This was a double monument. They own 6 plots. It was extremely important to them that dad was on this spot and mom was to his right, traditional burial.
Yes.
And so the way they buried dad in mom's spot, whoever did it, whether the funeral home misread the plots and told them the wrong number, the gravedigger dug the wrong plot, the cemetery marked the wrong plot. Don't care who did what.
Mm-hmm.
But what I ended up doing was I said, I had already negotiated with the cemetery. I said, is there a plot? They've got 6 plots in a row. I said, is there a plot on the other end that's available? And I said, yes. They said, yes. I said, okay. Can they trade the plot on the far left for the far right? They said, yes. I said, okay. Hold that plot. I'm going to call the family.
Mm-hmm.
I called the family and I said, hey, there's a slight problem, but I think I've got the whole thing worked out. I said, okay. I said, it turns out, and I said, hang on before you get excited, please, and hear me out. And I was probably a little gentler than that, but just know that I want hear me out the whole thing first before
Right.
it seems as though they buried Dad in the wrong plot. Now, of their 6 plots, Dad is the only one who's interred. So
Okay.
it appears that they put Dad in the wrong plot. Oh my gosh! So hold on. As it turns out, since y'all have 6 plots in a row, the plot on the far other end is still available.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we will trade that plot for that plot, everything is fine. We don't have to replace the stone, and we can go put it out next week.
Correct.
Oh my gosh! Thank you so much. I said, no problem. I said, mistakes happen.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. So all they had to do was go sign some paperwork. That was it. So I had it all handled. Didn't cost anybody a dime. However, that sexton got his rear end chewed out for not paying attention when he marked it first time.
Mm-hmm.
So he met me in the cemetery one day as I was checking on something and says to me, he goes, if you keep making problems for the cemetery, I'll make sure you never install out here again.
You say that a little louder, please?
I said, that's cool. I said, next time you say that, why don't you say that to my attorney? And I told him, I'm not hired by the city. I'm not employed by the city. The people who pay my bills are the customers who own those plots. You do not have the right to remove me from installing monuments in the cemetery. I said, good luck. If you think that's going to work, have fun. Because I promise I'm going to beat you on that one every time.
Mm-hmm.
He hated me from day one after that. And he tried to make my life miserable, but I pushed right back.
Is he still there?
Left. No, he retired.
Okay.
I went on, and then they've had the guys that have been there. So the guys, the guy that was following him worked underneath him, and everyone since hated that guy and worked with him. And they have been great. Been nothing but great ever since. It has been phenomenal to work in that cemetery.
Well, good.
So, but you got to stand up. I think the deal is you got to stand up for what's right first, right? You stand up for your families, and you stand up for what's right, and you do things the right way. You don't cut corners, but you do it the right way for the right reasons. And we've said that how many times? Forever. 22 episodes. We're 22 times, right? So,
well, definitely don't ever back down.
No,
and especially in my experience with that one particular cemetery, a lot of times it's just posturing on their end,
right?
That they're just trying to shut you down just on their word alone, and a lot of times their word is not backed by anything remotely legal, even steeped in any sort of logical reasoning either. It's just that they want to have some form of control over you.
And that's, sometimes I just let them feel like they've got it, and that's fine.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Sometimes if you can just let them think that they're on the side that they want to be on, and it's still working in your favor, that's
when you have control.
Oh, yeah. Let them act however they want.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's been, it's interesting. I don't know. I've loved watching some of this stuff. Of course, lately we've seen some pretty interesting things on some of these groups, and that's been one of them. I've seen some people come up with questions that you kind of go, "Well, hold on, that or this." But I think I've learned a number of different things that over the years. There's this one that's been posted recently, and I don't know how they did this, but it's on the forum, and it is not a porcelain picture. But if it is on this, what looks like limestone piece, and the image on there is in color, and it looks really good. I'm really afraid of what they used, and I'll call him out because the work's good. I'm just afraid of it. Carl Billing did some. It's on the forum, and it is One of them says that guy at Afzal or something like that, and the other one is in, I don't know. It's an Asian writing. I don't know if it's Chinese or Vietnamese or something, but it's got a cross in the middle.
Oh, I'm seeing what you're saying. Yeah, it has that negative space cross.
Yep. God, those images on there are phenomenal. The design, look, I will say that the work with the designs, right? How they incorporated their work along with, because the shapes aren't anything crazy. They're pretty. But the Bang Eye one is a unique shape, but it's not over the top.
Right.
The negative cross one is something we've seen a number of times. The way they did that artwork and how crisp that image is, if that's not a porcelain, I'm thoroughly impressed. I mean, the detail in that one that's on the Bang Eye one is, God, it looks like a painting. So
yeah.
whoever that is, if that's you, I'm impressed. That's a dang good job.
And if that is you, reach out to us and tell us what that picture is.
Please.
Yeah.
Please. Because there's 35 comments. I'm not going to read through all of them by any stretch of the imagination to figure out what it is. But
speaking of porcelain photos, I think we'd be doing a disservice to a good friend of ours if we were not to say that if you are in the market for porcelain photos, there's nobody else other than Porcelain's Unlimited. Reach out to Tanner. Give him a call.
It's Tanner and I, we had a conversation last week or the week before about a picture or whatever, and I'll give him, mad credit to him because he holds to his guns for quality, and in that particular one, we didn't see eye to eye, but we'll put it this way: I don't think he was in the wrong. I think he did a great job of what he was doing. But to prove his point, what he did was he sent me a couple of images to show how it was going to work. The actual porcelains, fired porcelains. And so we were talking about color or something like that. And he proved his point. So a lot of credit to him for that. And he did so he sent me a couple of pictures my way and his way, and he proved exactly what he was talking about. So he stood behind what he was talking, his quality, and showed it. And I don't know, maybe some of the others will do that. I've never experienced it, but man, good dude. You can't beat that guy.
No, and I'm not saying that other porcelain suppliers out there are producing, shoddy work or anything like that. And I've seen their products, and their products are good. It's just that Tanner, he's not ever content with just sitting at this level right here. He's trying very hard to push bringing new technology to this industry.
There are some things that he's got coming down the pipe that are gonna improve things for everybody. That I don't know that I can talk about yet, but are going to make things better, a lot better, immensely better. So it's once he gets it ready and he starts, it's going to be really good. So I'd say beware for that. And I'm excited for what he's got going on.
Well, definitely so. And I'll go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was also going to say that, whenever it comes to conventions, you're definitely going to know where Porcelain Unlimited's booth is, because it's always going to be the most well-furnished booth that there is. And if you want to sit down for a while on a nice, comfortable couch, watch TV, he's there.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh man, yeah.
I remember one convention, his booth looked like a living room.
Yes. I enjoy my conversations with him when it comes up to these conventions, because he's pushing the limits so much. And he says, "This is what I'm thinking about doing." I go, "Are you serious?" He goes, "Oh yeah, you're crazy." But he'll do it every time.
There's been times I'm like, "Well, man, do you think it'll work?" And he's like, "Oh, hey, come here, look at this." And like, he's already got it.
Yep.
And it's his mind operates on a different level than mine does.
Oh yeah. Yep. So no, it's he's got some pretty cool stuff coming down. I don't know if you know about it yet. We can talk about it later, but I'm excited for what he's got going on. The other thing, I've seen a lot of conversation about stuff going on in Elberton. I'm not going to. I know actually a little bit more about some other things that have happened in Elberton in recent days, but I won't go into that. But I've seen. Everybody's kind of asking what's going on in Elberton about turnaround times. Because I guess some people, and I don't know who, and I'm not going to blast other shops or different shops out there. And this isn't an advertising episode by any stretch of the imagination, because it's sitting here talking about some of these guys. It could be, yeah. Listening to a lot of folks talk about their suppliers lately, they're kind of going, "Well, what's going on? Why is what are your time frames?" I'm getting a lot of those kind of things, dude. Considering we have been at a year for a couple of years, since really 2020, right?
Yeah.
We've been a year, then kind of back down to 10 months, and it just depended on what it is. Man, I'm at 2 months. And really, truthfully, they're going to tell me, they're going to say, hey, we're at 10 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks, 12 weeks, something like that. I'm at 2 months. I've got stuff landing 2 months from when I order it. And I'll tell you this, if you are sitting there thinking about jumping ship with whoever your supplier is, hold on and be a little bit patient with them. There's a lot of stuff fixing to change out there for the better. Things are getting better. Turnaround times across the board seem like they're getting better out of E-Town. And I will tell you that we're kind of coming out of the wilderness for it. And
don't burn a bridge that does not need to be burned.
Exactly. So the question you got to ask yourself is, start looking at this. And so I'll say one thing first: check and see how much weight you're ordering. If you've got enough weight coming, then maybe you're fine. You need to be able to get enough weight on a truck so the truck moves. That's the biggest thing. And it all needs to be pretty close to each other. So if you're like, man, I sent in this order 8 months ago. Well, when was it? It's 500 pounds. When was the next order you sent in?
Yeah.
Be realistic about the weight that you have on order with that vendor or with your vendors, or sitting at whether it's Lewis Transcontinental or Henry and Henry or Dorica or whatever it is, right? Be real about your time frame. And then I'm going to say this, and I'm not picking on one individual or any individuals or more than one individual or all of them or whatever. Check and see if your checks have cleared. Because if your bill's not paid, they may be holding it, right? Or some of it may just be they're backed up still. But I think we're getting to a place where things are fixing to be really good, really good. So hang tight on it. Don't burn a bridge. But we've been kind of moving stuff around. We're still using Elberton quite a bit for the bulk of our orders. I got a piece. I don't know if I sent you a picture of the one with the roses on it. But I got a piece out of Barry. Vermont that I was just floored by. Sculpted piece, and God, it's awesome. So that was Baturi Girardi, and they nailed it. I was so apprehensive. I went to them because I was thinking, I need this thing to look very good. I need this thing to be carved well, and I was worried about shipping. Mark Girardi told me, don't worry about it. I got you on the shipping. We'll get it all taken care of. We'll get it to you. We got you. He sent it to me. Not a single thing was damaged, not even close. And that thing is drop dead gorgeous. So it's a really nice piece. He really took care of us. So I'm maybe I'm fortunate. Maybe I'm blessed. None of my vendors right now, all of my vendors are doing a great job, are doing a phenomenal job taking care of me. We've got stuff everywhere, and they are things are looking so well, and I think everybody's finally getting a chance to take a breath. Is what we're getting at.
Oh yeah.
I've heard some people say it's slowing down. I haven't slowed down. Praise God, but I think our suppliers are finally getting to a place where they can tolerate life. So,
Oh yeah.
but no, things are good. I'm excited to see you, man, in 2 weeks. So,
Oh, definitely looking forward to seeing you. And like I said, I will be there, and then I won't be there. Which I mean, of course, I'll extend the invite to anybody that wants to come.
Well, the
like I
games
said,
start on Saturday, though, right?
yes, for sure there will be 2 games Saturday, and at least one Sunday. Which, of course, I know Sunday we're wrapped up by then.
Yep.
But
is it Sunday morning or Sunday what?
Don't know. It just depends upon what seeding in the tournament we are.
Okay.
But if anybody wants to come watch us some intense 12U baseball,
man, that'd be fun, actually.
Oh yeah, I have a blast doing it.
Let me ask this: is he got is he using metal bat? Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Metal bats.
Is that going to vibrate through the new the ping on that going to vibrate through the new braces?
No, he should be well insulated from it. He's got a pretty nice 2-piece bat. Which,
all right, well,
I joke about it with a bunch of the other dads that are on the team, and we talk about our glory days of whenever we used to play baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, whenever I was growing up, travel ball did not exist, or at least it didn't exist out in Podunk where I was from. During the summers, you played little league ball. You made the all-star team. Well, a lot of us did. There was a lot that didn't either, but we made the all-star team, and then you'd go on and play. And a lot of times, the coach had like a bag of helmets, a couple old bats rolling around there. You may have had one bat that it was, something your parents bought at Walmart for $30 or so. Nowadays, all these kids, including my son is one of them, he's got this nice, several $100 bag. Got a nice helmet. It's got 3 or 4 bats in the bag, which, all these bats are anywhere from $200 to $400 a piece, depending upon which one you're looking at. They've got the nice batting gloves. It's changed so much from whenever I was a kid.
You ever just go into the attic and look for your old bat and give it to them and say, hey, why don't you go try hit with this? You need to take the glove off though.
My old bat, it's lost to time somewhere. Now I still do have the baseball glove that I used like towards the end of little league and then on into high school.
Yeah, James has my old mitt. It's trash. And I mean, it's not trash. It is not ideal. It's so old. They don't do webbing that way anymore. It's got that, that crossbar heavy leather webbing in the middle of it. I haven't seen a glove like that in forever.
Oh yeah. Which if James wants to continue playing baseball and you're in the market looking for a new glove one day, you got to get him a Nocona glove.
You got you a Nocona wallet?
No, I don't have a Nocona wallet. I rock that Ridge wallet, that modern.
Oh, so you got mine's leather, but because it goes through TSA or whatever. But
yeah, no, but you got to get him a Nocona glove. For one, it is the only baseball glove that is truly made in America anymore, and it's made in Nocona, Texas.
All right,
and that's you got to next time you come up here, we got to carve out some time and go to Nocona because you can tour the ball glove factory, which is awesome to do, and then in the same building. Down at the end, there's a brewery and restaurant down at the end. All
right. Well, you know what we need to do is coming up to this Oklahoma AICA convention, maybe Emily and I need to leave a day earlier. So
that'd be great.
Come on out that way instead and just take a trip out of it that way.
Oh, I figured he was going to tell me that he's just going to drive through, Burt Burnett, just honk the horn and, say, see you there.
I was going to Billy Madison and light a bag of flaming poop on your doorstep and leave. It's poop again.
Oh man. Oh.
So I don't think we can get much better than that. So I think on that note.
Yeah, on that note, from one of the most random episodes in recent history, but
yeah, it's again, congratulations on your entry into AICA. Looking forward to seeing what you're going to do to help improve the industry as well as we continue on. And this has always been fun. I still enjoy doing this, so this is great.
Oh yeah,
2 weeks. We're going to record. Are we going to record? Well, I guess if we have time.
If we have time, definitely. I'll bring everything up there.
Bring it. We'll see if we have time because of the baseball schedule,
right?
To record, and if we can make it happen.
Or you could come to the baseball field and we can record from there while we're watching the game.
That would actually be rather entertaining too, right?
Right.
Would you either do it out there? Maybe we'd do it poolside with the other Monument guys on Friday.
That's what we need to do. We don't need to do it during the convention itself. We need to do it kind of in an after hour setting.
Yeah.
Because last time we did it at the convention, we did it towards the tail end, and the cleanup
as we were wrapping up.
Yeah, the cleanup crew was in there staring at us like, hey, we need this table. You'll need to.
Yeah.
You'll need to leave.
We had to pick up our feet for the vacuum to go underneath.
Watching James throw those Pop Darts up at the top window, and
he still has those things, man.
Those things are awesome.
I swear they're like all over. We didn't know what the weird thing about those things was he acquired those Pop Darts because they were left there on those windows, and we didn't know what they were called. We'd never seen them before in our lives. I knew what they were for, what they did.
You just thought you threw them up against a window and they stuck?
Yeah. All of a sudden, on our Facebook feed and different things, we're getting advertisements for Pop Darts. We didn't know what they were called, so we didn't say the name. We were just like, yeah, he's got these things that he's playing with. And they were all over our ad. It was crazy. So
I will say I'm in the same boat.
Watching.
I never knew what they were either. I saw James playing with them at the convention. I was like, oh, those are cool. And then it wasn't a month after that, and everybody's talking about Pop Darts. And you get the Facebook ads for them. And
yep. So Mark Zuckerberg's listening. So there you go.
Always.
But yep. All right, man. Well, on that note, have a good one. We'll see you in 2 weeks. The rest of y'all, then hopefully we'll hear y'all. And whoever's going to be on the show with us next in 2 weeks is whoever's standing next to us while we're having a drink.
Oh, yeah.
So
now is anybody going to stand next to us?
No.
Yeah, it's fine.
We may coerce Jonathan into it.
Oh no, he's already in the slot. He's doing it. He doesn't know it yet, but he's doing it.
Yeah, he may not get a workaround on that one. He's just going to have to be there.
No, I mean, we can go mobile. The setup's battery powered. We can follow him around.
We'll just start chasing him. Get back here, Jonathan.
Talk to us.
I can outrun him. It's fine.
On that note,
yep.
Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a good weekend.
Yep. Y'all have a good weekend. We'll talk to you later.
Later.